Clappers! Yo, what's going on, guys?
We never specified who was gonna do it, so
there's multiple clappers.
Okay.
You're right.
let's do one.
Welcome to the Poor People's Podcast, where we actually have extra chromosomes.
That's fine. We'll just cut it out. That's all it is, because this is actually gonna.
Oh, yeah, leave that in.
Yeah, that's funny. But all right. So now that everyone's here, and well, we're just gonna have two
We
people.
should clap sync again.
All right, Coleton, let her rip.
Wait, what?
Let her rip.
Just do one clap.
Clap sync.
Oh.
Nice.
That hurt like shit.
Looks like it did.
My fingers are red. My fingers are blading.
Blading.
Mom, no.
Mom, no.
Right. Yo, welcome to the Poor People's Podcast, where we talk about random. Sorry, my mom unplugged the internet. I was playing. Welcome to the Poor People's Podcast. Welcome to the Poor People's Podcast, where we talk about random things, random stuff, where we like to talk about the things that go on in daily life.
Alright, so who's going to go first here?
Well, we should probably introduce ourselves.
Well,
I'm pretty
my
sure
name is...
This is the 4th episode. I'm pretty sure everyone knows.
My name is Daddy.
Man, nah, man. All right.
If you're just tuning in, this is the 4th episode, so if you haven't watched the other 3, you better get your ass on that.
And also join the Discord in the description.
Yee!
And follow us on social media in the description.
So
the guy that you hear talking right now with the beautiful velvety voice is CTB.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up with your brown.
AKA Caleb, because, that's my legal name.
Hey, my name's Brown Bean.
So, and the beautiful man, the beautiful white, blonde-haired man, they call me, my legal name is Zetsu, but, no, I'm just kidding. My name is Coyoten. My legal name is Coleton. If you want my social security number, link down in the description. And, yeah.
And also the guy who you're seeing gameplay of right now. I'm playing Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I'm Evan, or Spanking.
Why did you say it like you were 12?
I'm Spankins.
Because I'm the best 12-year-old V-Boxer for 8 years.
Well, anyway, guys, today...
Any hooser.
Let's talk about the Migos album first.
Trash. I mean, no, not completely.
It's not bad.
Not completely trash. Okay, not completely trash.
Here's what I'll say. Okay, the album is subpar compared to the first one.
Yes.
The first one, I think every song was like a hit. Like every single song off the first album was like in the top 100 for like a year. And this one, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think that if you haven't heard the album already, then it's a good listen. I'll say this, it's kind of like Lil Uzi's Love Is Rage 2. It's pretty repetitive.
Disappointing.
It's not disappointing. It's pretty repetitive. You can come around to some of the songs, but they're not like, there's nothing that just jumps out at your eye and you're like, oh my fucking god, this shit is amazing.
Did that to me, but that's pretty much it, just because it was Post Malone.
Notice me, senpai.
But otherwise, the rest of it was like really, in my opinion, I feel like it was just really repetitive, and repetitiveness in an album that much hype behind it is just disappointing to me.
I just think that
they did have some diversity, but on a 24 song album, it's not enough diversity for me, dude. Like literally every song is like the same thing.
Yeah, I think that
Migos.
There's a song on there where they actually like hold on, let me the song where they're like, right? I can't remember which song it's one of the songs. It's called Topic. No, sorry, Made Men. It's called Made Men. And that one that's a good one. Like I've never heard Migos like speak seriously about like real things ever. They're just like, yo, man, pop perky, I feel my chest. I've just never heard them be real. I think the first line is from Takeoff, and he says, "What would you do if I ran away?" And it's like, wow, Takeoff, where are you gonna go?
He's
gonna take off. Yeah.
He's gonna take off.
No. I think they were trying to test the waters as far as like what
like
could they do? Yeah. But no, I think all their features are really well done. Like they got a lot of good people on there.
Yeah.
But
I
think to get a feature from Drake as he's working on an album is pretty rare.
Yeah, and also the fact, like, okay, this is something I want to ask. What do you think about Drake's performance right now as a rapper? I feel like he's not even trying.
I feel like he doesn't have to try, and it's still good.
He doesn't.
I feel like no matter how bad he is, the production of 40, and his team just makes it, like, the production team he has is unbelievable.
But the thing is, like, I don't really think he doesn't have to try and it would sound good. Like, I mean, fucking Diplomatic Immunity had nice ass bars in it. That's him trying. That's him putting in work. But like what he did on Walk It Talk It, he's like didn't even try. I didn't like how it sounded. It was just kind of boring.
What about God's Plan?
God's Plan? Pretty nice.
That is a beautiful song. That is going to be a hit. If he puts that on the album, I don't even know what's going to... If that's on the album, imagine what the rest of the album is going to sound like. Like that's going to give me some nostalgic, like, whenever Views came out, oh my god, I got goosebumps.
This is giving me the vibes of when I had... the vibes I had when I was listening to Damn. Or like the previews for Damn. You know, like how what's the name of it? What's the name of the preview song for Damn? Had, beats. Where he basically like talk shit about like Big Sean and Drake.
The Hard Part 4.
The Hard Part 4. That song is
that song is so thought out. I just think that I think that we're kind of in the crossroads of rap or like the album season right now. Like you're gonna get a lot of people's albums, and I think everybody's trying to test waters as far as what they can do.
And the game is kind of changing a lot, like day by day, because of all that shit with the drugs and stuff. Now people are changing their flows. I can't rap about Coleton.
And it's crazy because a lot of rappers who are doing Xanax are hopping off of it now that Lil Peep is dead.
Fucking what's his name? Lil Xan changed his name. I forgot what he changed his name to. He did change his name.
Wait, he changed his name?
He changed his name.
All of Migos got off Xans.
Yes.
Who else? Lil Wayne. I don't know if he stopped taking Xans, but I don't know as far as lean. Lil Uzi stopped doing hard drugs.
Yeah, no.
That was surprising.
Yeah. But otherwise, I mean, I think it's taking a step for the better.
Oh yeah.
Lil Xan changed his name to Diego.
Oh, okay.
That's actually really cool. I like that.
That's his real name. I guess everybody's just going real. I don't know.
This is the era of real shit pop.
No.
I feel like that all these people are coming up, and they're like sound like hype beast rappers who just talk about drugs, right? But then they have like this side of them. It's like actually talent, like X.
Yeah.
When he came out, he was just like a screamo rapper who just talked about like fucking your bitch and taking these drugs.
It was in jail. And he came out of that environment. He's like,
no, it was before he came. It was before he went to jail. Well, but it was like right after he went to jail the first time.
When he started doing that shit, it was like right out of jail.
Yeah, and I think that it's crazy that he can sing. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm just happy he's like just realized I can really make an image and like influence people with this audience I have.
And I think he's one of the only like. I think he's starting a wave with these smaller rappers. Like he's trying to make a good change to the community. Like he's got that hashtag helping hand thing going around right now where people are like actually doing good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, dude. I saw a XXL article today, and it was about J. Cole.
Yeah.
And it said J. Cole thinks that XXXTentacion has talent. And I was like, whoa. I mean, granted, I'm not a huge fan of J. Cole, but he's like a monument to the rap game as far as like being a role model and influencing good vibes,
Well, yeah, I mean, I really like J. Cole. Like, I mean, based off of his music, he's a very talented artist. He's very smart with like, how he brings people around and like all that kind of shit. I mean, I'm kind of happy that X is being put in this good light now because.
Because definitely
he's had so much controversy over the past 365 days. It's
I mean, I think that people are starting to realize now that he's not some
a
fucking woman beater. Yeah. He's like actually a genuine person who has feelings and stuff like that. And I don't know. I feel like people fail to realize that whenever they start to get in some sort of fan base and they start to get like, following. But going back to the Migos album, I think that. Okay, go ahead, Caleb.
Let me just. I wanted to touch on what you guys are talking about in terms of like rappers kind of like starting to like really change and everything like that. I think it's too early to say that.
Okay, I mean, I'm not saying they're changing 100%. I'm saying
this will be quote unquote official when you actually hear songs from these rappers other than Kendrick and J. Cole that have a certain message to it actually being played on the radio.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I haven't
once
heard
you start hearing stuff from
I just think
that are putting out different, more uplifting music actually being put on the radio, that's when the change is going to happen. Because a lot of them, they might make this change, but then realize that this change isn't selling, and then they're going to go back. Because you realize from guys like J. Cole and Kendrick who do and have openly talked about very serious issues and whatnot for a long time, those are never the songs that get the most play on the radio.
Yeah,
I also think that's just a tribute to the radio nowadays. Like the radio sucks.
It does.
They
play awful music.
Have just gone down. Like
overall, they won't focus on making a certain kind of music unless it sells records, gets a lot of stream plays on like Spotify and everything, and if it gets on the radio.
I feel like everyone's just using Spotify at this point. I don't even know if they the only people listening to radio. Like radio is kind of like Facebook right now.
Yeah, it's like no one gets unless they're like 80 years old and they're like, what's my grandchildren doing?
Not even my mom listens to the radio. She listens to fucking what's it called? What's that other music thing? Not Spotify, not SoundCloud. It's
Pandora.
Apple Music.
Yeah, Pandora is like Twitter.
Apple Music.
We have a moment of silence. We have a moment of silence for I believe to be one of the greatest people in all of music. The great DJ Khaled, because he apparently is he's in talks to sign Lil Pump, and it made me want to throw my head through a brick wall.
He's been with a lot of talks right now. I mean, I heard Gucci Mane's trying to sign him.
Yeah.
I think he's talked to a lot of labels lately. But, okay, going back to the Migos album, I think that what makes it so good, what makes it rather not good, but makes it noticeable, is how many fucking producers they have on that freaking album. They got like 20 producers on there. They got Metro Boomin, Zaytoven, I don't even know who else, dude. It's crazy.
I want to see Ronnie J do something for Migos.
Dude, Ronnie J is on the come up. I think he's one of the best producers in the game right now.
Yep.
I think that all of the great musicians, I wouldn't say musicians. I think rap is the best place for Florida right now. Like Florida has a lot of good people coming out of it right now. Like Denzel Curry, Ronnie J as a producer, Ski Mask, X.
I mean, yeah,
it's insane.
Pretty much where,
and even though I don't like him that much, I mean, Kodak, you can't deny he's had success.
He's had one good song, in my opinion, but the rest is like.
Then he's back to jail.
Yeah, he's already gone.
I mean,
wait, what was the reasoning of him going to jail?
So the cops raided his house and he had massive amounts of weed and he had possession of firearms, and then there was a child in there and he got hit with child neglect.
Wait, there was a kid in there?
Yeah.
What kind of? Oh my God, Kodak!
God knows. Hey, it's the trap, bro.
It's the trap, bro.
Okay, but I just think that rap is in a really good place right now, just because of the amount of diversity there is and the amount of great producing there is in the game.
I think the real question now is, will people? I have a theory that albums will become less and less common as the culture just becomes more and more just, let me put out a single, make money, then when I want more money to put out another single.
I also think that the albums, I don't think people are going to start making albums anymore because of the fact that to make an album, you're supposed to be signed, right? You're supposed to be signed to a label to make an album, right? So
you don't have.
But the problem is with most of these record labels, the contracts are awful.
Yeah.
That's why 90 I think that's why all of these come up artists are independent.
Yeah.
They're signing to like a independent label, you know.
I don't know if you heard. There's the TM88 story where Atlanta hasn't paid him yet for EXO Tour.
Oh yeah, for EXO Tour Life, yeah.
Yeah, like record.
Atlantic Records is, I think, the most. I think Atlantic, Warner Brothers, and a couple more, dude. They're like crooked. I think they work the complete opposite way. Like these contracts that people are signing, it's like, okay, here you go, 12 million, right? But you have to make 5 albums in a span of a year. It's like no one wants to sit there and spend their time.
I mean, I would do it for 12 million. You could put out some boring
Yeah,
shit.
but the problem is it's like 5 albums.
Wait,
with that.
I mean, like, you can do some, like, tiny albums, kind of like how X puts out tiny albums.
But they want, like, they have to give you a certain amount of songs on the album, you know? You don't get to choose.
Like,
It's like 12 songs on an album. Like, who wants to make...
You have a hit at times.
Who wants to make... What is that? 12 times 5, 144, right?
I would.
Pretty sure that's wrong.
Like, at the same time, it's not even just that. It's also, like, there's more freedom.
60, I'm retarded.
Long or something. Like,
yeah.
if X wanted to be signed, you know they would not let him make some of the short songs that he makes. Like, Riot would not exist.
No.
Riot would not exist.
So 12 times 5 is 60. So 60 songs.
Most of 17 would be too short to put on an album.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So
that's why X won't sign. That's why X won't sign anybody, because he wants to be independent. But he's making plenty of money by not being signed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
I feel like labels will start decreasing. I feel like the amount of labels is going to start decreasing.
And I feel like everyone just wants to go independent at this point.
I feel like if you're going to sign to a label, you need to do like DJ Khaled. Obviously, I think he's pretty good. I think that label's decent. And then I think Kanye West's good music is really good.
I'm gonna sign under Simon Cowell.
I mean, Gucci Mane's album label is okay, but I mean, if it's not a label owned by a rapper who understands the game, then it's not a good label.
Bro, I said Simon Cowell.
I think Simon Cowell, sign me now.
Brackets on wickets on wickets.
Alright, you guys can take a topic away if you want.
Alright, let me think. I was originally going to say something about fighters, but I realized none of you guys want to talk about it, most likely.
I mean, I'll talk about it, but I haven't played it.
We haven't played it yet.
You know what? How about this? I want you guys
give it a little review.
No. Okay. So I mean, I'll give it till next week because this is the first day. I can't judge it all on the first day. So
yeah,
let me talk about this. Logan Paul. I want your guys' opinions on this. So this story recently just surfaced. Logan Paul on Wednesday just returned back to YouTube with this documentary style video on suicide victims or suicide okay, someone's knocking on my door. Yes.
So basically, I'll take it from there. So basically, he made a suicide video. Nice. He made a video of a documentary of people who have attempted suicide, I guess. He's like interviewing them and like asking them questions. And I guess the goal of the video is for him to understand suicide better. And he's receiving a lot of backlash because
it seems fake.
The point of people, I don't think he understands why people are mad. The point wasn't because you didn't understand what's the suicide better. The point was because you belittled it and sat there and filmed somebody that killed themselves.
I think he has to be actually incredibly, utterly stupid to not understand that.
No,
and
yeah.
I feel like he gets that to an extent.
And the
video was essentially, I believe the video that he released on Wednesday was essentially just what his PR people really needed him to do.
Mm-hmm. No, but at the end of the video, I mean, he donated like $1 million to suicide thing.
That's dope if he actually did it.
That's fine, but I don't think any amount of money can apologize for what he did.
I really like he could give like he has shit tons of money he could give. It doesn't really like.
I think you could give.
He can give.
I don't think
a lot more. Most likely,
money doesn't buy forgiveness for me.
Yeah, no.
At the same time, though, you have to think: where's the limit to where we can say, like, how do we know when he learned the lesson, and does he have to show us?
Well, I think the hardest part is the man is an actor.
That's
right. So how do we know when something is genuinely serious and when something is an act? Like this documentary is not about the suicide victims. It's about him. Yeah. It's a self-centered video about him trying to, quote unquote, understand suicide.
Merch link in bio.
There's nothing to understand. There's nothing to understand. What you need to understand is that you
did something wrong.
Are a piece of trash for belittling and videotaping someone who committed suicide.
Yeah.
I just think that I genuinely don't think he has a single care in the world.
I really think he just cares too much about his image and he doesn't want to lose it. So he thinks, hey, if I donate, then people will be like, oh.
That in the video title is like, I mean...
Wait, what is the video title?
Because obviously he doesn't make the videos himself. Right? He doesn't just sit there and think out the titles and his video ideas, right? You know, he's got people there.
Yeah.
Like Caleb said, his PR probably told him to do this. So his people were probably like, yo, let's make a video of you trying to understand things better. So that way it brings more traffic to your channel and people think that you did something better. Or you try to come back from this and you're not still making the same kind of content to show that you have changed in a way. You know, it's like, dude, you're such a fake piece of shit. Everybody can see right through your little fucking pussy mask, bro. We know. We know what you're doing. Like, we're not stupid.
He just doesn't want to lose his career. Like, that's pretty much it.
No.
I mean, hell, if it actually is him, it was just him feeling genuinely sorry, you didn't have to, like, make this whole video. Like, you just had to be like, I'm genuinely
not
sorry.
Everything has to go noticed.
And like I will change the way I act from here on.
What's interesting is I think his apology video that he made, like his first apology being that Twitter post was absolutely stupid.
Yeah,
but
and it has like
apology video that he made
it was like a humble brag to himself the whole time.
And not only should he have just done that first, if he just did that video apology first and never did the over the top, let's force it by having a documentary style thing of me talking to suicide attempt people, survivors, and showing me donating and all of this, that is what not that doesn't seem genuine.
Yeah.
When you watch the second apology, when you watch that video, that feels so much more genuine than anything he's done since then.
Yeah, because he's literally just sat alone in a quiet room and genuinely apologized.
And the thing is, what's great is what would have really shown that he's more concerned about making up for his mistakes and less concerned about channel views is if he did something that's similar to what, let's say, Kendrick Lamar does with certain things in terms of how he gives back to content. I think Kendrick doesn't talk about it, people talk about it. Yeah, and they hear about it. He doesn't make it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say.
Logan Paul just started donating and doing certain things to help without making a huge thing about it.
He's just like, hey guys, look at me. I gave money to the suicide.
Because here's a great quote. I don't know who it's from. I don't know where I heard it from. I can't remember. But the greatest acts of giving go unnoticed.
Yes, sir.
Like, dude, you have to sit there and make a video. I'm going to donate $1 million to the suicide prevention hotline so that way they can expand.
He's just going to make it. He's going to make it back in like one video because he's making bank off of that. He probably monetized it.
Yeah, probably.
He's making bank off of a suicide. It's stupid.
You know what's crazy though?
What?
What's crazy is during this whole controversy regarding him, that like with the whole suicide forest thing, a lot of stuff came out that people didn't notice that they should have noticed because of how big his platform is, which is just how immature his content, actually how he treats others in foreign countries whenever he goes to foreign countries. And not even just foreign countries, he's like, especially him and his brother with that whole thing where like his brother attached like a super crazy horn to a car that was
Oh yeah, and he like fucked up a
little
dude's
guy's ears out and whatnot, and how Logan Paul like didn't necessarily care that all these fans were like annoying his neighbors and whatnot, and just have no disregard for people. He had no regard for anybody around him. What would have made such an interesting like difference that not a lot of people would have picked up on immediately is if he started making content again, but it was in a different direction and it was more mature. If his content
the thing is, I mean, from his
let
position,
me be a flaming idiot and inconvenience everyone around me.
The thing is, from his position, his fan base is literally all little tiny kids, and like he has to appeal to them, or else he's gonna be broke. I mean, on top of that, he shouldn't be acting like a dumbass, but his fan base being that kind who should be watching like Nickelodeon and like SpongeBob are watching him go around and be a fucktard.
I feel like another thing is like, why is that content, the documentary, why are you making that?
Yeah, like
in the first place when your viewers are children.
Well, here's the thing. You make that video strictly just so you cover your own behind. And that's one of those videos that doesn't matter what his fan base is, because it was entirely PR related, trying to make sure he keeps his image up.
Yeah.
And
you almost don't need to do that in 2018. All you had to do is apologize and stay low for a bit. You can make a return later. People will see that you return. And
he made such a big deal out of it.
That's the thing. Like, literally, just come back on your own, do your thing, and maybe be more mature about it.
Here's what I thought he should have done. Number one, don't make the documentary video. Number two, stay off of YouTube for a longer time. Yeah. Don't make any contact with anybody.
That was like Number a 3 or 2 week break, was it?
Come back and make more mature content.
Yeah, like make sure that you're influencing your audience to become not retard like how you act in your videos.
Come back and make a video about how you go and make a donation to... Come back and make a video strictly of you showing a donation to suicide prevention. Or come back and make a video of you, like, doing something productive in your day. Like, oh, I'm about to go get some groceries, or I'm about to go and, like, go to the gym, or something like that. Like, do something that isn't... Like, just get away from the topic, dude. Like, clearly your name and suicide do not associate with each other. Yeah. They are not good. Like, especially just stray away from it. Go make your own stuff. Like, go make something that is a little bit more mature. Don't be a nuisance to the people. Don't be ignorant. Just go and be mature. Go be an adult.
What I would have liked to see is a YouTuber that I watched for a long time, Anna Kana, who her sister committed suicide and her brother found her sister in a bathtub. She has been pretty open about that, and when the whole Logan Paul thing came out, she was pretty vocal about her disgust for how he, everything with the video. And what I would really like to see is those two individuals with their large platforms have a sit-down conversation.
Yeah.
Not a documentary style thing that's obviously pushing one thing.
Or make a video of you
meet up, maybe have another prominent YouTuber as a moderator. Maybe it's someone like Philip DeFranco or something. I don't know who, but
Philip DeFranco or something.
DJ Keem.
Yeah. And have them moderate and just have the discussion.
Like, have a serious person who is...
Not a lot of people want to have the discussions anymore.
Right.
And all they want to do is just make a video and then try to put everything past them.
Have, like, a Joyner Lucas, I'm not racist type actual video where you take the YouTuber that messed up, a YouTuber who was affected by the video, sit down and have the person who was affected explain to him what he did wrong. That way he can reflect on it and individually get a legitimate reason on why he messed up, because clearly he doesn't understand.
I think he understands to an extent, but I feel like he's not gonna fully get it, and a lot of people don't fully get it until they've found themselves in that state of mind where they are considering committing suicide themselves, or they know someone and they have been affected.
I just think he's got it all twisted, dude. I think he is under the impression that people think
until they experience it themselves.
I think that he's under the impression that people think that he reacted the way he did because he doesn't understand it fully. I'm thinking that he thinks that's what he did, and that's what people think. I don't think he understands the problem fully.
He's just like very, very ignorant, and like just he doesn't know how to deal with this situation correctly. So he's just doing all kinds of fucking wrong things, and it's making him go even further down the drain. Because
it's hard to deal with anything correctly nowadays, because even if he did everything that he felt like he should have and whatnot, there's gonna be people that will never let him live it down.
I mean, he's 22 years old.
Like, he's gonna be 65, and someone that was like on social media in 2018 is gonna see him at like a Whole Foods and be like, "Hey, old man, I'm gonna kick your cane out for talking about suicide when you were like 22."
He's 3 years older than me, and I act more mature than this man.
I mean, in my opinion, age isn't a factor. It's just the fact that how mature you are. Just like you just need to like be more mature with what like you're dealing with. Like you have a giant
I just
audience.
think that he has no common sense.
He doesn't.
It's crazy because I know somebody who is exactly like him. Maybe with a little less money, but very ignorant, and they don't understand what they're doing wrong.
Less money.
They sit there and go, "What am I doing wrong?" And then you have to sit there and explain to them, and they still don't fucking understand the problem.
Some people genuinely need to experience the negative effects of that situation for them to actually understand it. Some people will not learn by being told, they have to experience.
I don't know. And I feel like he has experience in that.
In certain situations, you don't want to experience that at all.
I feel like he's a YouTuber. He's 22, and he should know.
Yeah, I mean, he should know when
He's had plenty of stress on his plate. He's known plenty of people from Vine and Twitter and everything. He should know. I think. I mean, if anybody should know, it should be him, because he has this opportunity to see so many more people than we do.
Yeah. I mean, here, let me switch the subject a little bit from a
KSI versus Joe Weller.
No. Let's do that after. But this is more of like people as like YouTubers in general, like how people carry themselves based off of this past year. I feel like it's been about a year since it's happened. What do you feel about how Keemstar has changed as a person over the past maybe like year or so? I mean, I feel like he's like 10 times more mature than he used to be. I think that he was just really, really hungry for views and money whenever he was doing all that crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Keemstar, the way Keemstar goes is I feel like I kind of compare Keemstar. Dear God, I kind of compare Keemstar to like Philip DeFranco in the sense where they both make news content, but it's very different in their approach.
And in the way they
and Philip DeFranco when Philip DeFranco first started, if you watch some of Philip DeFranco's old videos, he is a lot less mature.
Yeah.
Occasionally, he himself said that I said some stuff that was a bit racially insensitive, a little sexist, and everything. Looking back at myself, and I'm like, I was so stupid. I think it's because may also have done the same thing. Like over time, if your content does not mature with you, there's a problem.
I think I have a solution to that. I think I know why. I think it's because let's say you have no YouTube experience or making video experience before, right? And you usually talk to your friends with no filter. So you start YouTube and you're talking the same way you would talk to your friends because it's the easiest way to get things out without talking to somebody. You're just talking to a camera, you know?
Yeah.
So you're being really informal.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of learn to speak with a filter when the camera's on. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like that comes.
I try my best not to be fake. You can say that's being fake in a sense.
Yeah, there's a difference between like talking in a way that is acceptable, and then like not necessarily being candid with your opinion. Like a lot of people feel like they can't voice their opinions anymore, and that's not true. You just have to be able to do it in a way that doesn't make you look like a gigantic turd.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard in 2018, but
I just literally, when it comes to me talking in front of a camera and like the position we are right now, I just literally just censor myself the tiniest bit to make sure I don't say any specific words. But otherwise, it's
I think also for us, it doesn't really matter if we censor. Well, we obviously it matters if we censor, but like Philip DeFranco and Keemstar, if they don't censor, they are getting. I mean, their fan base is so big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like they have to, because if they don't, then they're going to end up everywhere.
Yeah.
They're going to end up the #1 name on Twitter trending, you know?
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding. I'm not going to say it.
I think that they realize that if they're going to speak their piece about something that is a very touchy topic, or maybe they shouldn't talk about it, then they should be prepared for backlash. And I think that in Philip DeFranco and Keemstar's case, they don't want the backlash. They just want to chill and make the videos and produce content for their people.
Well, the thing is, what I like about Philip DeFranco is like, the way he does his videos is it's always, here's the situation, here's what we know about it, and then here's my opinion. And he's very blunt with his opinion, but then he always asks for the audience opinion as well. He never takes the approach of, this is my opinion and what you think is.
And I think Keemstar is kind of straight away from doing the opinion thing at all.
Yours as well.
Yeah, he tries his best not to have any opinion.
I think Keemstar, the only time I've heard him in a while talk about his opinion is the Logan Paul thing.
Yeah.
But
that was from a YouTuber standpoint, you know.
Speaking of Keemstar, I just want to I've actually thought about this like a few days ago. During the whole trend of the diss tracks and everything in the YouTube community, and there is the whole big thing between Net Nobody and KSI.
Yeah.
And he had Net Nobody on his show. Am I the only person, correct me if I'm wrong, but did he not, at least not on the recording, talk to Net Nobody about the accusations of physical abuse and not paying child support and things like that?
No, he did.
He did.
I don't remember him ever talking about
the denied the accusation, but yeah, he did.
He said no, because I remember specifically Nobody's crying and he's like, I paid this much and stuff like that. It's like a Tyrese Gibson moment where he's like, well, how much more do I have to give? You know. What more do you want from me? It's like that situation.
All right, let's just move on. Speaking of KSI,
let's go.
Caleb wants to talk about KSI versus Joe Weller, the fight that's gonna happen in a week and a half.
This isn't necessarily my topic, but it is something that I do find quite interesting, because my thing is there's so much hype behind this, and they've been training and posting a lot on their YouTubes and Instagram, on Twitter and everything about their training process and everything like that. And a lot of people are picking sides and everything. Oh my! And if you guys hear anything in the background, it's my dad yelling about sports. But I want to know if anybody actually thinks their fight's going to be good. Because
no.
I honestly,
they're going to be in pads.
No one's going to be knocked out, even though they keep talking I'm going to knock out in the third round, knock out in the third round. No one's going to be knocked out, and it's going to be one of the most underwhelming fights because they're going to be tired by round 2.
I feel like no one's going to get knocked out, but what KSI was saying, he's like, with the weight of the glove, someone can get knocked out if you punch.
I think that KSI can win.
I feel like KSI is going to win.
Either one can win, but the thing is, they're not professionals.
Definitely not.
And with the few months of training that they've had, I don't think it's going to be enough to actually be a
Well, I don't know, because KSI is getting professional training from a professional boxer.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, Weller, I personally, I'm in the camp where I think KSI is going to win.
And Joe Weller, I don't see him doing a lot of.
Not necessarily because of how he's being trained, as much as it is the fact that he's been healthier for longer.
Yeah.
And Joe Weller is still getting over a knee injury, and he does not have his legs fully.
I feel like, I mean, even
so
just based off
of going to have more power behind his punches if he uses his legs correctly.
Just based off of training, of what I saw, based off of the videos recently posted, Joe Weller's just doing like weightlifting, and KSI is actually doing like fighting training. Like KSI is actually like going hard. Like he wants to kick his ass, and like I want to see KSI kick someone's ass. Like it's gonna be interesting.
Same. Like, did you see him chuck all those guys off?
Yeah,
at the press conference?
Literally, there's like 3 dudes on top of KSI. Look, he threw 3 dudes on the ground. Like what?
Like,
and then like flipped a table and like legit, it was hilarious. But like he did some real shit. KSI is on some real shit.
Yeah.
From what he was in the past, the little scrawny dude that made rape faces, he's a real nigga now.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But my topic is
all right. Your topic.
My topic is I had to talk about Monique.
What the fuck is that?
Exactly.
What is Monique?
Okay, so I'm sorry to the people that see this and hear Evan's reaction and say, "What? He doesn't know who Monique is?"
Who the fuck is Monique?
Monique, for a time, was a very important member of the comedic scene to a lot of people in the Black community and everything. And she recently came out talking about how she should get more for her Netflix special, and she's only getting like $500,000, and Amy Schumer's getting this much, all the other people getting this much.
Amy Schumer sucks.
Netflix and everything. And everybody was like, no one's going to pay you as much as you want them to because you haven't made any content in the last few years. Like, your value is strictly legacy value, and it's not a long-lasting legacy value. You're not a household name like Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and people like that.
Rick James, bitch.
Like, she felt offended by Netflix offering $500,000.
She got $500,000. Why aren't you happy with that?
Oh, Monique.
This is her reasoning, though. She's like, the reason why I didn't take it is, what if I take it and then all the other upcoming Black women in the comedy scene are like, oh, since Monique only took $500,000, I'll just settle for $500,000 too, or $500,000, or less than $500,000. And I'm just like,
you'll live off of that.
Actually, I'm so like, I don't want to be like, oh, Monique is absolutely stupid, but she's being absolutely stupid because she doesn't understand that the way
she's trying to boycott
nowadays,
Netflix.
Like,
really?
Yeah, like the way things work nowadays is people almost don't care about your legacy unless your legacy is huge. They want to see, what are you doing now that can give us money?
Like, it's a comedy special. You're not in Breaking Bad. And
the thing is, people like Dave Chappelle, when he got his specials and whatnot, Dave Chappelle was on the road for a while before his specials came out.
Dave Chappelle was constantly doing comedian shows,
bro. Yeah, Dave Chappelle was on the fucking grind.
Was still doing his work as well as being a household name. He took some time off. When he came back, he didn't instantly come back with a Netflix special. He was grinding me like, hey, I still have people that want to see me. Monique has to prove that she has people that still want to see her.
Monique Monique hasn't done anything in a while, but as far as comedy.
My issue with Monique now is what she said recently. After all the backlash,
what'd she say?
Cracking on her when she had the nerve to say that she's the most decorated comedian of all time, even though there's plenty of comedians that have won things like Oscars and Tony Awards and everything like that, and have way more ticket sales than her. But she will never she will never ever post ticket sales or anything like that. She knows for a fact she didn't make as much money as
I've done some research.
But
she's also trying to boycott Netflix because she's saying gender bias and color bias.
Oh, yes, fuck you.
Oh, great God. Because
like, I'm black.
Because Chris Rock is black.
Yeah, the most people right now, comedy specials, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Amy Schumer, two black dudes and a woman.
Yeah.
2 black dudes and a woman. How is there racial and gender bias?
Literally, like,
but what she said recently, shout out to Silent Knife, though, in the chat, because he just touched on what I'm going to talk about. And Charlamagne Tha God, radio host personality, recently gave her Donkey of the Day on the Breakfast Club for her craziness. And she had the nerve to post on an Instagram live, and she remembers years ago where Charlemagne was in an elevator come back from a show, like when he was like still coming up, kind of, and he was so respectful to me. And she told him, say hello to your mother for me and everything like that. He was like, yes, ma'am, and all that stuff. But then he becomes, he has so much evil and hate that he has to.
I think Charlemagne is the best person in the world.
And then
He really is.
She had the nerve. She had the nerve to be like, and my only question for him is, why do you hate black women?
What?
And I'm like,
There's
what?
black women on his show.
Have you ever seen how many times he's like, hey, let me get that booty on the show? And like, not even.
Man who constantly on the Breakfast Club is pushing and being incredibly supportive of black people at the
also very sexual harassing towards black women.
Dope things. And just because he gave her donkey of the day, he suddenly hates black women.
I mean, I remember when Karrueche went on the Breakfast Club, and he's like, so like, when you gonna let me eat that ass? It's like, bro. Or when Coco was on there, and he's like, so what's the breast size? It's like, dude,
Charlemagne is fucking hilarious.
I think he's the funniest person. I think his actions are almost like he's doing things that are over the top and over the line, but they're still funny, and people don't take it over the line because the people that are on there are like not.
Because he's being honest. He's not
Speaking
being crazy.
of Charlemagne, if we go back on the topic we were talking about before about Logan Paul, Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club kind of confirmed the fact that Logan Paul was trying to get on the Breakfast Club to like clear his name apparently because that was necessary. What do you think about that?
Well,
what are you gonna clear your name about?
There's no way that they were gonna like. Even if they did let him on, I don't think.
You know how much backlash they would have had.
Wanted it to. I honestly don't think that would turn out.
Either this happens, they let Logan on, he starts talking about it, he says, "I did not do anything wrong." The show receives backlash, or
what's
it goes like this: everybody there starts roasting him, telling him what he did wrong. And then everybody in the YouTube comments is like, "Bruh, Logan Paul, that guy, he's a piece of shit."
Or
YouTube videos are getting 2 million dislikes.
The third option is during the discussion, Logan Paul, like let's say he even starts off the discussion by saying what he did was wrong, right? Admitting that what he did was wrong and everything, like he did in his apology video and the such. And if he starts, because recently, if you listen to the
Charlemagne says, "You know damn well you was wrong."
Yeah, but so like they recently like talked about how they somebody wrote into them saying like how some other stuff has really helped them in their own battles with depression and whatnot. So they understand they understand how their influences, radio personalities affect other people. And I feel like one of the first things that they would bring up to him is, how did he not understand the power he has as an influencer?
How do you not understand that you shouldn't fucking post a dead body on YouTube?
Yes, of course he shouldn't have posted it, but the thing is, it's not even just the video anymore, it's all of his content. Because when you post incredibly immature content all the time, and you escalate it to this level, like, people that watch your videos are going to think that all of that is okay. And I feel like content creators have a responsibility to an extent, because ultimately, if your viewers do something stupid, it's your viewers' fault. But you also have a duty to an extent to maybe not be the one that encourages them to do absolute stupid things.
Like, for example, like there's those points where someone makes maybe like an exposing video on someone, and they're like, either they say nothing about it, or they say don't attack this YouTuber, or don't say anything in their comments, or don't do anything negatively towards them, or they don't say anything at all, and then people do it anyway. It's not their fault. He didn't say shit. He didn't say not to do anything, or like people will do it anyway based off of like whatever the fuck they say.
Yeah,
it's whatever. Moral of the story is, I think Monique is going off the deep end, and I feel like her morals have come into question now, because it feels like she's just trying to
get more money.
I'm just glad because you
make her money, because apparently without that, Netflix didn't offer her $500,000. Her people went to Netflix trying to get a deal, and then Netflix gave the offer for $500 million.
I just think that I'm just glad
never on Netflix's radar, and she's just salty and is now trying to start controversy to make Netflix look bad because
Netflix
nowadays,
is like, oh, you want a special? Okay, we'll give
social
you
media and
500,000.
everything, you can say one thing and say that somebody's being sexist or racist, and you can try to bring them down. And I feel like
I'm just glad because you are a black male and you are not supporting her.
Yeah.
Because you make sense.
I guess
I was about to say
because I don't like the way Monique is doing things. I must apparently hate.
It's just selfish and conceited.
like, come on now. When I heard that, I don't know if I wanted to laugh or just ram my head into like a metal pike when I heard her say that, because it was the most ridiculous thing I heard that day.
Low key, that's kind of generous of Netflix if she just walks up there. Let me get a special. Okay, here's 500,000.
Yeah.
Why would your dumbass say no when you were off the radar for years?
Yeah.
Like they were not thinking of her at all, and the fact that they even gave her an offer at all, she should be thankful for.
Like, get dead ass. I mean, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something good. Oh yeah, Caleb. Do you want to rant about that story that you ranted to me about that thing on Facebook?
Which one?
The one where you got into an argument with like 40 people.
Oh no! Wait. Okay.
This speaks on. I think,
this is such a hot button.
This speaks on gender bias, correct?
This is such a hot button.
Gender fluid.
Okay.
Gender fluid.
Okay. Okay. Context. I'm an individual that I used to go to high school with, female. Posted on Facebook a little bit of a ranting paragraph about how she's not a fan of the vagina hats that were worn in the recent Women's March because it's not inclusive enough. And on the outside looking in, I can understand why someone who is a feminist, as I would hope all of you are, because feminist just means you want equality for men, women, and everybody.
Well, I mean,
so
the word feminist.
No,
It's just no. I mean, I want equality for everybody, but I feel like everyone's bringing it out of proportion.
I'm going to touch on that.
Okay.
People have such a negative connotation that they associate with the word feminism.
Because it's cringy.
Because of it's kind of like, it's the same way that I feel like people react when they hear like Black Lives Matter, and some people get really like, ugh.
It's like saying you're a fashionista. It's fucking cringy.
Some people in the Black Lives Matter movement are really aggressive, and they make the message seem overly aggressive and something that people should not want to be a part of. And there are some people that are really vocal about what they want when it comes to gender equality and everything, that are very extreme and are very aggressive, that make it almost like you should be ashamed to be a feminist. And you shouldn't be ashamed. What you should be ashamed of are the fellow feminists, quote unquote feminists, that are being hateful and are trying to control people, right? But that's beside the point. And I tagged in, right? And I'm just like, the moral of the story for me personally, I was just gonna make this one post on the comment section, and I was just gonna dip. I was just like, hey, let them wear the hat, and I understand the hat was never necessarily a feminist icon or an icon of feminist movement. It was more of like a kind of a protest directly that stemmed from Donald Trump and the things that he said about, grabbing female genitalia and whatnot. It was kind of like a
grab them by the.
It's kind of like a thing to kind of protest about the things that our president had said in the past, and I get that, and it kind of became a bit of a symbol in the modern, really vocal feminist movements. And I'm like, that's cool. Let people wear the hat. But her issue was that it didn't necessarily, it wasn't inclusive enough, and it didn't include trans individuals. It didn't include people that are like women of color. It didn't include disabled females and all this. And I'm like, yeah, a hat that has a vagina on it doesn't necessarily include all those people, but that doesn't make it a bad thing.
You have to wear a hat of a vagina in a wheelchair. It's a black vagina as well.
And she also said, what about the women that don't have penises? And for people that are like, what? She's specifically talking about trans individuals. Because some people just don't get they don't get the goods. They don't get the goods, snipped and the such. But
Ew.
I'm just like, do you want to include you want to make the next hat? I even made this point. Like, do you want to make a hat that just has everything on it? Like, and she couldn't answer anything that I said because it was all like, oh, not inclusive enough. Oh, not inclusive enough. Not inclusive enough. And she got mad at me when I said that I feel like she should be directing her passions in a different direction by offering solutions for for a lot of the modern feminist movement not being inclusive enough. If you think something has a problem, offer solutions to fix it. She offered none. She was just mad that people are wearing these hats and they're marching and they're not being inclusive enough of women of color and they're not being inclusive enough of trans individuals or disabled individuals. And I'm just like, if you want people to be more inclusive, talk about that. Don't be like, oh, the hat is stupid, and if your feminism isn't intersectional, that's absolute BS. No, just be like, hey guys, I appreciate what we're doing and how much momentum we've made in the modern feminist movement and everything, like for like the Me Too movement and whatnot, which is absolutely fantastic. Like, it's absolutely fantastic. But you also have to be like, hey, what you're doing here is good, but here's some other ways that you can also be effective. Don't come out the gate being angry and aggressive against people, because some people may just not know. Like, you know, people that are marching that just may not have necessarily thought, hey,
there's two genders.
Oh my god.
That's it.
They need to be inclusive of these individuals, and they need to be inclusive of these groups. They may have automatically thought that what they were doing was being inclusive. The only thing that's
the only thing that gets grouped is the testicles that are in my nuts.
Shut up.
Okay, there's two genders.
Testicles that are in my nuts.
And essentially we got to the point where we kind of agreed to disagree because she was getting so offended and everything, and I was like, it's whatever. And then someone else jumped in, right? Like, I'm okay if you're angry and
how dare you
like phone a friend
or anything, but
can I phone a friend
someone
for the
hops
answer?
in, right? A friend at first hops in or whatever and says that I was trying to push some transphobic bioessentialist agenda. And
so we're biologists now.
I'm like, so because
biology,
because I simply feel as if because I simply feel like what she's trying to do could be more effective if she directed her passions in a way that provided more solutions to problems. I'm apparently transphobic. How, Sway?
How, Sway? How?
Please explain to me how. And
how,
that's when I got a little bit heated, and I made this quite large comment that was all about, and you wonder why there are so many men that are hesitant to be openly feminist because they deal with individuals.
There's idiots like that
who, the second they don't necessarily agree with you, even if they want equality, even if in the end they want the same thing as you, they just have different ways of going about it, and you just decide to accuse them of being transphobic and try to tear them apart and whatnot just because they don't agree with you, you're not getting any more allies.
All right, listen.
Like,
there's male.
Your message seems less and less relevant.
Listen, there's male, there's female, and then there's a subclass of female, which is called the Guild of Psychopaths, that are those people that you're talking to on Facebook, and they must be defeated. We have to take them out.
Oh my god.
We have to use the power of God and anime to take those people out.
So
we have to Kamehameha all those transphobic, biological...
Okay, hold on, chill out. Rhythm said this earlier, I completely agree with it. He said, no, I am not a feminist, I am an equalist. Treat them equal to men, not above or trying to match them with different separate policies or rules, in which I completely agree with. I feel like people today are just really ridiculous. Like, there's more extremists than people with actual common sense out there. With these
First off, the equalists were villains in Avatar: The Legend of Korra. Secondly, if you say you're an equalist, I understand what you're trying to say because you're basically just not wanting to align yourself with people that label themselves as feminists. Because if you want to go by a dictionary definition, you would be a feminist by wanting equality. But
right, so
I understand why you say equalist, but at the same time, I think your thoughts on it shouldn't be like trying to be above or everything like that. That's very similar to people that are like hashtag all lives matter.
All right, so let me put my piece in. This is 100% a joke.
I feel like because of this movement, you think you should be held at a higher standard or a higher level than me, and that you want more power than I do. And that's not necessarily what they want, even though some people might be really aggressive, and they might be some people that are extremists that do want more, and they want.
I'm gonna attack helicopter. Get it right.
Like that. The overall, like the average person that says they are a feminist doesn't want anyone to have more power than anyone. They want that equality, and don't feel as if feminism is a anti-male. Women are going to be more powerful than men. Men are going to be below them and everything like that. Just because a few of them are extremists, just like Black Lives Matter isn't a Black Lives Matter more than other lives. It's, hey, we matter too.
Oh my god.
Okay, so disclaimer before I say this is 100% a joke. I don't want to get this twisted. But whenever you're saying
to have a disclaimer.
No, listen. Whenever he said equalist, and I was like, I'm a kitchenist. That means all women should get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
Dear God.
No.
This was 100% a joke. I'm just thinking about that in my head, and I thought it would be funny to say. So now I'm gonna get freaking attacked on Facebook by all these biological people who have been modified to be something other than male and female.
Bionics. Bionic bastards.
What was that quote that girl said to me after we were done arguing? She was like, bioessentialism is a farce, a fallacy, and a plague.
Yeah. You know what else is a plague? A virus.
That movement.
So these women need to get in the kitchen and learn how to do some dishes.
And Dr. Calculus is here.
Oh my god, get out of my life.
Aggressive about it and hate on people for not agreeing.
Listen, if you have a point of view and somebody else has a point of view, you argue about it, but you don't sit there and go, "You bio-evangelist, what have you done?"
Basically, don't diss someone for having an opinion that's different than you.
That's just being a fake, sophisticated person.
Exactly. My
all
vagina.
these words are just stupid ass words made up by retards.
Yeah, I just feel like these feminists.
No,
like,
okay, no, but
they're just making things up, dog.
No, at this point,
they for real make shit up.
They just wanted to like. These words are for people who disagree with us.
I mean, I have a similar story to Caleb's. There's a girl I know, I used to go to school with her, and she thinks the exact same way. She does not think there's two genders, which there is. Anybody who's watching thinks differently, put it in the comments section, and I will definitely never reply. So, yeah, so I was on Facebook, the lady posts something about, something like, my vagina doesn't define me, and I said,
yes, it does.
What? I just typed in her thing, and I said, how do you think that? You know?
So when you come
and she's like, because I don't think it's fair that I am pronounced this or this when I come out of my mother. And I'm like, guess what you came out of? A female vagina. And that was it. And then I blocked her, and I never spoke to her again.
You know what happens at the baby shower? They find out if you're a girl or a boy, not if you're girl, boy, or any of the other 49 things.
They go, oh man. They don't go, oh, he's got a propeller on his fucking ear. This is a helicopter. No, they go, wow, he's got a penis. He's a boy, or he's got a vajayjay. She's got a vajayjay.
This is why people need to. The easy compromise is something that I learned in school, which is, there's your biological sex, then you can be whatever gender you want to say you are.
It's like sitting there like, I'm going to go on my computer real quick and download a new gender.
Be whatever orientation you want to be, or whatever.
Dude, I just got the new gender pack!
Your biology. But that's That's a different story. We already know we're gonna get hit for this part.
Or the doctor has to pull out a damn. The doctor has to pull out a gender Bible and figure out which one you're gonna be according to what kind of birthmark you have.
Or apparently, he has to fucking roll the dice at this point.
He has one dot on his nose. He is a police car. Like what, bro? Like how do you even?
Well, the thing is, have you heard that some
identify as a raccoon?
Bro, I just uploaded my gender to the character.
Here. But some states are starting to do this thing where if you have a kid at the hospital now, what they're doing on the birth certificate is you can check mark
other. Oh Jesus God!
Wow.
My son is an extraterrestrial being.
And this is the thing. This is the thing. What they can easily fix it is this is how you fix it. Okay. You just say, okay, here are the physical traits, right?
So
this is the physical traits of a human, but he's actually an alien.
Shut up.
He is not of this land.
These physical traits, but gender TBA or whatever.
I mean,
is it possible to even like come out as like
want to be whatever they want to be, but they can't necessarily?
The mom just goes to the doctor and he's like, "So who's the father?" He's like, "No, the aliens actually probed inside of me."
I always wonder, is it possible for someone to even come out as like there's an error of the body, so like they come out as like both?
Yes.
It's called it's called a hermaphrodite. And their parents get to choose. Their parents get to choose.
It's a hermaphrodite.
Sorry, so you're gonna cut off his dick?
Yeah. Sometimes they don't have both, and they decide to get one move later in life.
Dude,
I was born a man.
So, is there any more topics before I get flamed in the chat the description, the comments? Holy crap!
Coleton, you could say a topic, and then we could go into the post show, which you should be on.
Shit, I actually don't know a topic. To be honest, not gonna lie.
I don't have a.
How was the parent party that you went to, Coleton?
Oh, that part, bro, that shit was lit, bro. It wasn't really a party. It was more of like a show.
Here, let's go.
It was a rock concert. This shit was
a rock concert.
Hell yeah.
Coleton's like, "Hey, bro, y'all saw Slipknot just now?"
Oh my god! Now it was my friend's band though, and like a bunch of other bands. Like that shit was lit.
Why'd you just mumble so hard? He's like a bunch of other.
I think that Coleton could be a mumble rapper by talking. Yeah, and then that would be his ad lib. Yo, skirt.
Skirt.
Well, with that, I think that we're gonna end it here.
All right, that was a good hour. So I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the 4th episode of the Poor People's Podcast, and I hope you stick around for the next episode coming out next week.
Well, I'm actually in it.
Shut up! You're in it right now.
Next time you guys file, don't forget if you're an adult. Don't forget if you file your W-2 to select other as your gender.
For real, bro.
No, but yeah, join our Discord. Links in the description. Follow our social media. Make sure you come onto our Discord to be here for the post show, where you can actually sit down, have conversations with us, chill out, and be on the actual video. And go on our Patreon. I think if it's up right now. Caleb, can you confirm if it's up or not? Is it launched?
And by the way, there's 2 genders.
God damn it.
Only 2.
It's not launched yet. We're still working.
Right. There's no 3.
Patreon is a work in progress, but when it is up, I will post it.
Transgender, any gender.
So Patreon coming soon. 2 genders coming soon.
Or you guys shut up and let them do the outro.
All right. I hope you guys like the episode. Have a good day.
And clap.